Hello, everybody. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Well, I hope anyway, because I can still never understand when the hell is this thing going to ever get fixed with the mic issues. But until then, though, everybody, my name is KG Prestige. Welcome once again to another exciting edition of the PokePod World Podcast, where me and my pals are going to gather around to go and talk about things that have happened within the past week. And boy, there is. Woo, there's an episode to talk about. I know for sure we're going to have a lot of fun with that. We will be getting to that sooner than expected, only because there is a couple of things we're going to be talking about that is tying to the anime. So, to Sabo fans, we have a lot to talk about. To Grookey fans, I also feel like we'll have a bit of a discussion for that too. And I'm genuinely curious to see where people fall with this episode, because will people enjoy it? Will people dislike it? And overall, why are people calling Go a psychopath? There's a lot of things to talk about for this. So we'll do our best to cover that throughout the night and many other things as well. So we hope you guys will enjoy the show. I'm going to go and hop into the call with my buddies. And we're going to go and see where things go from there. Obviously, we're going to just chit-chat for tonight a little bit as we get everybody to join us. And also, at the same time, I'm supposed to be waiting for like a package that was supposed to arrive at like 9 p.m. It's 10 o'clock now. And I know UPS tends to have very shitty service when it comes to shipping things, but like, geez Louise, man. Come on. For real? I would have liked to at least have gotten some info. I mean, there's nothing that I'm being updated about regarding my shipment. So I'll see where things go for that. But let me go and hop into the call real quick, and then we'll go from there. Look really. At that. Everyone's just hopping in.
Why, hello.
Hello there. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Well, want to say one thing before we get started, and that is, I was able to go up to Pelham Manor, which is in the county north of me, because they're in stage 4 of the recession of the Backstreet Boys tickets.
All right. And how's that coming along?
Well, I went to Smashburger, and I'll tell you that they have this like I'll tell you exactly what the frick it's called, because I have the damn receipt.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the smoked cheddar brisket burger, which is a freaking cut like a limited time thing, where it's like they have you have the hamburger with cheddar cheese, and you have applewood bacon and a piece of brisket on top.
Cool.
And that's some good stuff. But so stage 4 of the Backstreet Boys tickets repression involves 50% of capacity for indoor dining, and I'll tell you that if they implement the same thing in New York City, I think it's going to work. My only concern is population density, because the population in Pelham Manor is about 6,500, while New York City is 10 million. So it's another thing that we have to worry about. But they have like lots of hand sanitizing area, so you don't have to worry about that. They're doing the whole social distance thing. So overall, I think indoor dining will work, but it all depends on if people comply or not.
Speaking of which, I think there's a perfect image to pretty much summarize how things are being treated overall. I'm gonna just post this on the Twitch stream, so you can take there if you like. But yeah, this is pretty much how things are nowadays. Either go left or go right. You decide. We're not gonna judge. But yeah, so overall, the whole thing is starting to wear out. I heard that for New York City, the tickets actually are not even available now, because we've reached a total of 0 sales. So that's good. Well, I think.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, we're not gonna get to 0%, 0% ticket rate. I mean, we are gonna get. I mean, the thing is, though, you have to remember that we were down to 0 burning tickets, but we aren't down to 0 ticket sales yet.
Yeah. Anywho, aside from that though, how have you guys been on a positive note? How's hopefully everything's been fine this past week. I know there's a lot to talk about regarding this week's episode of PM 2019 or Pokemon Journeys, however you wish to approach it. Has there anything been on like the gaming side that you guys have been, getting fun experiences with?
I know I need to start playing Go a little bit more. I know Team Rocket's doing a little.
They literally ripped the models of Jesse and James out of the Mewtwo Strikes Back movie and put them in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate the Masters.
Yeah, I was saying they're also in Masters too.
Mm-hmm.
I think this all had something to do with like a tie-in to Coco, but because of the movie delay, obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because as Dogasu noted on his Twitter, Matt in the Japanese dialogue, in the text, it references the forest that's in the movie.
Yeah, like by name.
Yes, as opposed to in other countries where it's just a random forest.
Mm-hmm. They literally say like the jungle.
The jungle, yeah.
That's it.
I guess because obviously they didn't have an idea what to call it here in the dub yet.
I mean, that's literally like the first mention of like the 23rd movie over here, other than like them just retweeting it on Twitter. Like that's basically it.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is nice to actually see one big change out of all the games that we've had with Team Rocket so far. This is the one that actually does the anime justice. Because Meowth actually talks in the Masters game.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like the Let's Go Pikachu.
Where the Meowth just sort of,
But it's lo and behold, it's like the actual anime Team Rocket or the alternate universe anime Team Rocket or whatever. But
right, but they still have Megumi Hayashibara, freaking Shinichi no Miki, and Inuyama Inoko. They reprised the Rockets,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
It only made sense, and to be fair, a lot of people were kind of concerned given how things usually tend to be like with voice acting changes on the Masters game,
Yeah.
I believe like for Sophocles and some of the characters in the game, they're not necessarily voiced by their same VAs. So people were also concerned that Team Rocket would suffer the same fate.
The only other voice actor, the only other seiyuu that we know for a fact was from the anime is Mathis or Serge. His Japanese voice is actually in the game.
That to me is still shocking, to be honest. But still, I appreciate it nonetheless because he was the first one to be referenced.
In Masters, when you use Musashi, when you use the Japanese voice, at the end of the battle, she does the whole Kanbu Shoshin spiel from AG, the whole thing, when you win.
Such an odd reference, but anyway, it's an AG one, so I'll always appreciate anything from AG.
I mean, okay, wait. What does that translate to in English?
It's like it's just spiel about the ranking, the higher ranking promotion shit.
Oh, something like getting a promotion.
Yeah,
I should be getting a promotion.
Yeah. I guess
that's
hand
the
in hand
promotion thing,
with the Meowth boss fantasies, that type of thing.
Such a out of there reference.
Right? Only like the hardcore Team Rocket fans would catch something like that.
They haven't done that in a long time.
Well, it's probably because I didn't watch AG as much. Like, I don't remember AG as well as I do, like, some of the other ones. So I definitely got to listen back at that. But if it's a Japanese, was the Japanese one the only one that does the reference? I know they don't have their English voices yet. I know that.
Well, because
I know why, because of the
but I'm talking about she recites that at the end of the battle when at the end of each battle when you fight when you have Musashi in the center of your party, she's the one that says like the victory stuff and all that thing. No, the Kanbu Shoshin isn't in DP. It's a different one.
Is it similarly structured, just differently worded?
I have to go back to that, but no, the Kanbu Shoshin was only in AG.
It is nice seeing that. Somebody asks, are they voicing their characters from home? I would assume so, given that, this is still going on, and for the safety of everybody's sake, we want to make sure everyone's safe and sound. So I think it's safe to say that, it's probably via their home.
I like the Disney.
The Backstreet Boys ticket crap isn't as bad in Japan as it is here, even though they had a spike recently.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you could say that because I know the spike over there is a little different than how things are being handled here. Apparently, there's like wording happening where they might do a redo of it again, where they're probably gonna re-quarantine the whole place up again.
I don't like.
At least not Florida,
I really don't like talking about it a lot because I feel like it almost scares me to a point where it feels like there's going to be no actual end to it. I think it's just life now. It's just an unnecessarily like revolving door now.
Yeah.
Well, if everyone gets it eventually, then everyone will have antibodies.
Well, the problem is the antibodies don't work. So
it does mutate. That is true. It's like the flu. So
right. I mean, the only way is a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's the only way that we can do that because people have said, we didn't make a stinker on the regular flu. Yeah, because the regular flu gets vaccine every year. So high-risk people can get it. Yeah. Here, you don't have it. When you don't have it, you have to do mitigation.
Take precautions, It's always the important thing. So make sure to always wash your goddamn hands.
Right.
I know there's like other tasks that you got to do. But honestly, though, washing your hands is probably the best route to go at this point.
And wear your masks. You're not going to suffocate. It'll be okay.
Yeah, no God's breathing system bullshit. Wear your goddamn mask. If blind people and freaking people with no fucking hands can put it on, you can put it on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw a video once of a woman who went to like a grocery store and she wore the mask, except she thought she had a brilliant strategy where she just like cut a hole in the middle so that way she can breathe so she doesn't suffocate.
What are you even wearing the mask for at that point?
Right.
Yeah, but I love how the cashier register was like, excellent thinking right there. I love that idea. And then the woman's like, I know, right? Best of both worlds right here. I'm protecting myself and still breathing properly. So it's like...
that was sort of a little too many Facebook.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, hey, we get to be distracted for a few minutes.
That's right. We get to run the stream. All right. We're taking over.
All right. We're no longer talking about Pokemon stuff. We are now officially a watching grass grow Twitch stream.
No, we're gonna watch Tyrone play Kirby's Crystal Shards again.
Oh yeah, I played that last night. I played it originally to test out the some of the games on the 64 emulator, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play like 1 or 2 levels of this and see how it goes. And then I wound up playing like 2 hours of Kirby's Crystal Shards because it was just that enticing. Something about Kirby just kept me playing the whole time because I easily could have stopped, but I just kept going. And I'm like, I just.
Well, I want to say I never played Crystal Shards, but that game definitely was very unique.
It is unique. I like the combination of powers. Most of it was just me trying to experiment. To like add
and also even though the levels are linear, you still can move on all 3 axes.
Yeah, and you still got fun little like if you explore hard enough, you'll get rewarded for your curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
You can play Kirby 64 online. What? Oh yeah, it's just like that Mario 64 online where I saw
net play.
Someone
said NASCAR. Yo, can we net play some NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup, the greatest game ever made?
No, we're gonna play. No, we have to do the real thing. We have to get fucking direct drive wheels. We got to spend like fucking $3,000 on a fucking rig just for the wheel and that. And we got to play some Assetto Corsa, Competizione.
I'm not doing none of that shit.
Competizione. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. We got to go to fucking who sells the fucking wheels? It was Fanta. I think it's Fantech. Got to buy the fucking direct drive wheel where the fucking where the force feedback the actual steering column with the force feedback, which gives like fucking 40 pounds of force, costs like $1,500. That's what we gotta do. We gotta go the real fucking route, and that's serious racing. Gotta have some serious crap. Driving is not a sport. Tell that to people that do rally.
Yeah, but you gotta make a left turn, and then after that, I think you make a left turn.
No,
And then
it's
another
like-
one.
Oh shit! You do another one?
Yeah. People often miss that.
Yeah,
part.
unless if you go to like that Thunder Mountain. Well, I almost said Thunder Mountain. It's fucking Disney.
I will unironically fight people though who think that NASCAR isn't a sport. I mean, I know there's like the ha funnies out there, but it actually is like very, very physically
I mean, you
demanding.
got to get your body. Yeah, you got to get your body ready. to
People
handle-
think it's like jumping into your SUV and going down the street for 4 hours. I mean, that is not it at all.
You have to get your body like
Well,
able to handle G-force, and then you got fucking.
It's not only that. You got to remember that you have to be cramped inside of a roll cage. You're going like 175 miles an hour.
It's about 130 degrees or hotter most times too, which is
Literally, like you'll pass out if you in mid driving, and then you'll kill yourself. So you gotta.
Well, and also you gotta remember that crashes come up fast. So if you react too late, then you pretty much can be a goner.
Yeah.
Well, not killed, but maybe severely injured. I mean, there's a lot of safety equipment, but still.
Now, thankfully, NASCAR has gotten very, very safe relative to other motorsports. Like, there's more like severe injury and stuff, and things like F1 and IndyCar. But in NASCAR, it can still happen. There's been like a couple big ones in the last 10 years, but nobody's gotten like permanently injured in a very long time. So that's always good news.
Yeah.
I mean, I give respect to people who are in any kind of racing. Well, one of our chat members said here Le Mans, and that's 24 hours. That's a huge endurance.
Oh yeah, yeah, for real. I mean, they got to cycle out for that one. That's a big one.
Absolutely, and I know.
By the way, speaking of Le Mans, has anybody here seen Ford versus Ferrari? Yeah, I know it sounds like a documentary title, but trust me, it's actually a very good movie.
No.
Has Christian Bale in it, I think, the guy who was in The Dark Knight, obviously, and just a fantastic movie, honestly. Like, I was blown away. That was the first movie I saw like on New Year's, back when you could actually go to a movie theater, and that was a great movie. I would highly recommend that to anybody who hasn't seen it. Anyway, Pokemon, what are we here for? That's right, Pokemon. Is there anything even happening now besides the anime? Like,
not
honestly,
really. Other than
well, we can actually talk about the Rotom smartphone toy that's coming out from Takara Tomy in the end of the week.
Okay.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah, because originally I thought in the commercial, you hear Marina's voice introduce it in the commercial, and you hear like a random guy putting saying the dex entries, right? And I thought, and then I read the Amazon JP description, and it said the original voice of the phone from the anime, and I'm like, wait, that's not it. And then I watched then I think Takara Tomy uploaded a video, showcasing it, father and son, who actually went through, and yes, Marina's voice is in the toy. He says a lot. She says a lot of things. It's like great, excellent, and then atarashiku zukan ni let's see, toroku saremasu. That shit. That's new entry to Dex has been recorded. If you didn't know the translation,
I always like the realistic Pokedexes, because like that's one of probably the closest things that you're gonna get to an actual Pokemon item in real life, because it's literally just like a little device.
And not to mention, like it's actually a very big toy. It's a very thick toy in retrospect, but I think it's because they did that for safety reasons. Because they probably don't want things to break very easily.
Yeah, so no one will eat it.
Yeah.
So what did I miss here?
I was talking about the
phone is a real thing now.
The Rotom smartphone.
The Rotom Pokedex phone.
The Rotom phone. Because as I mentioned, it actually does have Marina's voice in it, but it has a male voice that reads off all the dex entries, but Marina's voice is in it, and she says, "Great, excellent." and 新しく図鑑に登録されます. You know, that shit. You know, there actually is, if you actually watch the PV, the promotional video on that, there's a lot of phrases that Marina says in it. So maybe if I go later in the year and buy the toy, because the toy is like fucking $85. It's fucking expensive.
Ugh, I'm not paying $85 for that.
Yeah, but again, I've bought like the Yokai Watch Dream for like fucking $80. So I mean that's
Jesus.
I mean again, what I want to do is if I could find it like secondhand, I would probably open it up and attach like a headphone jack, so that I can record all the audio. Because I would like to have like clean rips of Marina's voice, so I can annoy the shit out of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be your ringtone. Get a text message. Nice.
I mean, that wouldn't annoy them. He would be the only one to hear that.
To be fair, though, that's how loud he puts it.
Yeah. We play it randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I'd actually love to have the Go alarm clock. that voice right there.
Strike! Strike!
Ow. No, but that the ringtone was great. Hey, that shit would be something that would easily wake you up 100% for sure.
Oh yeah.
Only just because you don't want to wake your parents up who's like right next to you in like the other room. And if they hear that shit, they'll wake up.
I mean,
well.
it would be really annoying, but also really funny at the same time. Like I just love when like the Rotom voice, even in Sun and Moon, I love when the Rotom voice just kind of like over the top and like started screaming, and I was like, this is really funny sounding.
Exactly, because it's like a one-of-a-kind thing. You don't really get it as often as you would expect it. Like, especially like in this recent episode as well with the silly shenanigans they made Rotom do. It even cried in one segment of the episode.
Yeah.
I actually feel like the new like Team Rocket's Rotom phone, at this point it feels like it's a Beware replacement. Like they're doing like a lot of more funny stuff with that.
Well,
where it's just, I don't care.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's nice to hear. It's nice to see, like, Pikachu's VA talk condescending down the freaking Rockets, like completely. Like,
yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah, like technically Team Rocket got him.
Japanese fans.
Kind of like the irony that it's kind of like the irony that only fans would understand.
Do we know who voices that phone in English? I think we do know, but I forgot.
I think it was might be Allison.
I was about to say the only thing that could be as funny in English would be like if like Sarah Natoshini like voiced the phone herself.
Ultimate
be like
tease
Ash,
is wrong.
It'd be like
Ash
Lay,
talking
maybe.
down the
I think it was Allison Lay that does it in English, if I remember.
Okay. I mean that's still good because like that's basically Bonnie, but
I could always ask Kevin C because he knows fucking everything.
Yeah.
If you want the dub info, he's your man for that for sure.
That means he had that.
Lisa Ortiz. Okay.
Yeah,
he had to sit through the dub.
Very good, thank you.
Did you know that the Scone Man is voiced by HD Quinn, aka Lysander? Excuse me, the Scone Man?
Who's the Scone Man?
Is that
the guy in Galar that has the scones.
The scones that talked about how Score Bunny used to like steal scones all the time or something.
Oh shit! Wow, I guess he reincarnated into a Scone Man.
Yes.
Poor lad. He didn't deserve this. Now, speaking about the anime, though, there are a lot of things I do want to talk about for the anime. I know Richie earlier ago brought this up to my attention. If you have, noticed on social media, something really important and significant came out not too long ago from a particular magazine issue from Any Media. That included an 8-page feature on the Pocket Monsters 2019 animated series that has interviews with the members of the show's cast as well as the crew. And Dogasu, otherwise known as Dogasu's Backpack on Twitter, has actually done an amazing job recently translating the interviews that we have. And I thought it would be kind of fun to go and take a little bit of time to talk about it because they have Rika Matsumoto, Daiki Yamashita, Daisuke Ono, Tatsuhisa Suzuki, and Daiki Tomiyasu, otherwise known as the General Director of the Pocket Monsters 2019 TV series. So I just thought it'd be kind of fun to just kind of, dabble on it a little bit, see what's the big talk that they have and whatnot. So they also had a segment there where they talked a little bit about what it exactly means to be a Pokemon Master, at least for Ash.
It's gonna be a real answer at all.
No, you got to remember they got to be as vague as possible because if they
so like getting that information is almost like getting a folded piece of paper, opening it up and seeing that it's blank.
Mm-hmm. But let me see here. For example, they talk a little bit about, and also you got to realize that the interview that happened here takes place prior to the events of last week's episode. So it does not include any of the stuff that we've already known from last week's episode, as well as the events that happened here in this week's episode. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk a little bit about it. They talk, for example, about how Satoshi kind of had another new dream added to his list of dreams, in that he wants to go and battle Dande again. Now, Daiki Tomiyasu mentions here, I had always thought that, personally, the whole Pokemon Master thing was really quite vague. And so one day, I went up to the show's supervisor, Mr. Kunihiko Yuyama, and asked him, "So, what does Satoshi's I want to be a Pokemon Master dream mean exactly?" His response?
I don't know.
It's just a silly dream of a child. It's something for him to idolize. I don't know yet if Satoshi's have a battle with Dande thing is going to end up going down as some kind of pie in the sky or not, but I think maybe seeing someone appear in front of you put in so much effort and then having that be what you get, or what gets you to get up and give it everything you've got toward your dream, is a huge step towards achieving something great. Go's I Want to Capture Mew dream is similar in that the adults who make this show set up this big, ambiguous goal for him and then spend each episode working to fill in the gaps. So I guess you guys got your answer in regards to what exactly does it mean to be a Pokemon Master. It's just a silly dream of a child. That's
worse. I'd rather him have said nothing.
Well, you gotta remember, pill drunk guy writing the show.
Yeah, this literally had to come up
again.
From that.
It's that original
I
show.
If they haven't told us in like over 20 years that they're
we pretty
not
much can throw it out the door.
Yeah, like if it was important, they would have mentioned it like at some point in season 1, but it really just isn't. It's just like, okay, this is our way to keep the show going for as long as we want to.
Yeah. Another cool thing that I want to add to the conversation is one that I talked about in particular with Ash's character after the events of the previous series. I'm very happy to see that Tomiyasu agrees as well. And this is what I'm talking about. Animedia asks that Satoshi also seems to be smiling a lot more lately. And Tomiyasu responds with, "Yeah, what is that? Maybe he feels more at ease now?" I mean, Satoshi is a more senior trainer than Go. Plus, he already shares the same passion for getting lots and lots of different Pokemon. And so the idea is that Satoshi will kind of mentor Go as his junior. Maybe that's why he seems more calm and collected. Up until very recently, Satoshi had always been the challenger. But then in the previous series, Sun and Moon, he went and got himself his first win in the Alola Pokemon League. So he was just a bit gloomy about never getting himself a title, but now that he has one, he feels more at ease and can relax? Maybe? And that's the response to that. So I never really put much attention towards like the fact that he's smiling a lot, only because he kind of does that in almost every series, you know what I mean? But it does feel nice to see that they acknowledge that with the previous series victory that we have here. I thought
it's just because the show's been becoming more annoyingly campy as the years have gone by.
Well, to be exact, in the previous series. I mean, like, if you were to go to X, Y, and Z, I mean, there's nothing campy about that, let's be real here. You know, it's all about action-paced and drama and whatnot, so it's a shonen, you know.
And I feel like they tried to keep a little more in line with the previous series going into this one, since this series is like so heavy on continuity and connecting back to previous series that you couldn't just go back to like Sirius XY Ash like in this series after Sun and Moon. Like, it wouldn't make sense.
I always viewed this one as like this Ash here is a combination of Sun and Moon and XY Ash, like a nice fusion between the two.
I think it's all the series, to be honest. Like I feel like it's just a happy medium.
All the series, like Sun and Moon and X and Y, I think are the most opposing because they usually have some of Ash's biggest ones. So I think when you combine those two, you get all of them anyway, like by default. Except OG for some reason. I feel like there's never gonna be an OG Ash again. That's dead.
Well, that was in Best Wishes and everybody hated it. So
no, I mean OG Ash, as in like TSS said, pill drunk, writing Ash. That Ash is gone. The Ash that would literally fist fight a Mewtwo is dead. Like that.
Well, yeah, because again, it's lack of experience. You can't pull the same card anymore.
Also, speaking about Mewtwo,
because I think that's the better written Ash.
I just want to add to this because you bring up Mewtwo. There was a conversation about Mewtwo in one of these interviews, specifically with Rika Matsumoto, otherwise known as the VA for Satoshi. Animedia actually asked, here's a what if question for you. Let's see. What do you think Satoshi and Go would do if they had a day where they didn't have to head out on a research trip? Please come up with what you think
they don't even do that now.
Yeah, and then like they just talk about like how they would just go on a research trip no matter what day it is. But if for some reason he absolutely couldn't go on one, then I think he'd just stay at home and have a bunch of practice battles or something like that. But I think he'd probably treat them too much like the real thing, get carried away, and end up breaking something inside the house, like pets, I guess. But at the bottom of it, Animedia says, if you, Miss Matsumoto, became a research fellow in the world of Pokemon, where would you want to go and what would you want to do? And this is her response. I'd want to go to Mewtwo's island, meet Mewtwo, and have a nice little talk about the meaning of life. So I thought that was a nice little nod there, with the whole Mewtwo bit. I do like that she has a very close connection to, I assume, the Mewtwo film, especially now more recently, given the tragic passing of the narrator who has been with the series for so long, and that was
Shizuka.
Exactly, who is now no longer with us, and his last role was in that film, so now more than ever, that particular Mewtwo Island now has a much more impactful meaning for her, I would say. But they do talk a lot more about other things. They even got Daiki Yamashita, otherwise known as the role, of Izuku Midoriya in My Hero Academia, Sakamichi Onoda in Yowamushi Pedal, among others, and of course, in the Pocket Monster series, Go. So they also talk a little bit about it, saying about, and they also ask him as well, like, if you, Mr. Yamashita, became a research fellow in the world of Pokemon, where would you want to go and what would you want to do? So Yamashita would respond with, like, Satoshi and Go rode on the back of a Lugia in episode 2. And it was super fun and sparkly. So I'd want to do that again, going around from region to region, from Kanto to Galar, all the way back, all on the back of a Lugia, which we all assumed that was going to be the format for the series, and I guess he did probably as well. I also want to eat the tasty delicacies of each region. But yeah, if you guys want to go and like look at all of the questions that are within the interview from all of the characters, VAs, as well as the people who are the ones working on the show, visit Togasu's site. You can also follow him on Twitter at Togasu's Backpack, and I assume from there, you can go and check out the articles that Togasu will post up on Twitter. So yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of cool things I completely skipped over. They talk about, Dande, of course, the big key character of PM 2019 for Ash anyway.
I messaged him a couple of months ago to see if we can get a copy of that specific one because it's the June 2020 Animedia one. I'm going to see if I could get one, and I got to actually message him this weekend and see if he has one, because if I go back to Japan in October, I need to pick that up.
Yeah, I know. I don't think they probably have it available now for
No, you can't. No, you can't. Because that's why I asked him, because by the time I tried to order it, it was already gone.
Yeah, and I also know that like I ordered some packages from Japan and they're still stuck in Japan. So I don't know
Well,
when the hell
yeah.
they're coming out. So yeah, there's a lot of conflict like that happening, folks. And unfortunately, one of the ones that have the most interesting interviews in there with such a vast amount of VAs and cast of crew members is not accessible for us at this time. But yeah, so, once again, go visit the Gus's site. There's just a lot you can go down and just, read if you want to. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Check it out on his site for yourself. There's just a lot there for you, man. It's great. It's an amazing read, and I think you guys will get a good kick out of some of the things that they bring up here. So, yeah, so that's all I got to say. Now, for anime content, that's pretty much it for the interview stuff. I feel like there was something else in particular that happened this week for the anime that I feel like I missed. I'll try to see if I can remember what that was in particular. Right. The Coco thing, right? The film itself. Obviously, we already know that the film has been delayed for winter of 2020, sadly. Yeah, so that's a thing. But as we've talked about before, we already know that there's this whole gaming stuff happening with Team Rocket in particular, with Musashi, Kojiro, and Nier, or otherwise known as just James and Meowth, being in Masters, Pokemon Go. Like, what do you guys think about the whole Rocket being used as a promotion for the film?
I think it's interesting because like normally they just go with the mythical Pokemon, like they put Zarude over everything or Celebi over everything. But I think that using Team Rocket it's an odd approach because Team Rocket's been in like every movie and they're not like new or anything, and they always have minor roles, but it's like, hey,
it's actually been getting worse as times pass, because I don't think they were like they were in movie 20, but I don't think they were.
The only recent movie that I can recall them doing something in, other than I guess Power of Us, they basically caused Power of Us. Let's be honest, and then they also caused Hoop and the Clash of Ages, which we're not going to talk about. But it seems odd, but I'm happy about it because like we haven't seen much of Team Rocket in the actual games, and they are technically game characters because they've been in Yellow and Let's Go and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that they're getting more stuff in Go and in Masters.
I like in Masters that they have Arbok and Weezing.
And then in Go it's weird because like their main Pokemon are Ekans and Coughing. And what's funny about them is that if you battle them Pokemon Go, I battled them this morning, they are remarkably easier than any of the other Team Rocket grunts. So even by grunt standards,
I think that's the point.
Yeah. Like even by grunt standards, they're like way worse, which is just funny to me.
Yeah, because in real life they're worse than regular grunts.
And then like their last two Pokemon are like just these random things they've never caught, like Sneasel and Beldum and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm like, come on, there's more stuff that Team Rocket has caught than just their Ekans and their Coughing. Like, you could have put Lickitung on here. You could have put
Cacnea.
Yeah, could have put Cacnea. I mean, they're up to Gen 5 now, Pokemon Go. So there's a lot of stuff they could have done. So that bothered me a little bit, but other than that, I mean, I think it's nice.
I like it too. I think it's a nice touch. I like the balloon that shows up overhead. I didn't know about the balloon until I played the game. I didn't look up the news for it. So when I started up the game, I'm like, what's this shadow over my character? And then I zoomed out. I was like, oh, there's a rocket balloon. So the minute I pressed on it, you get into a battle with a rocket grunt. So it's not like when they take over a stop or anything. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that Team Rocket's being used in a very useful way, instead of just the
also
anime.
Tasteful, really, because it's
like I never thought I would actually see them have an event dedicated to them in Masters. That in itself is great, and to also pay homage to Arbok as well as being her tie-in Pokemon for that. I thought that
I'm just wondering, like, what timeline does Masters happen in? Because there's so many weird things in Masters already. Where like some characters have fire red designs, and some of them have hard gold designs. And then Misty's like a weird outlier. She's like the only character with a Let's Go design. And then you have you have Giovanni, who has the Rainbow Rocket thing, but Jesse and James don't have Rainbow Rocket, and they're just the same old Jesse and James, but they're from the anime, but not the main anime universe. They're from the M23 universe, which is a completely different thing. So Masters is just, it's jumbled up. It's its own thing at this
Well,
point.
then again, Paseo is supposed to be jumbled up anyway because it doesn't make any sense.
Who gives a shit?
The moment the character Ash appears on the game, then that's where the whole shit will go and crumble.
It's weird because like they treat like the way they talk in the game, because like they'll talk about like current events and whatnot. It's clear that they like want this game to be canon with like the main series games, but they keep adding stuff that makes it just like more and more confusing, where it's like this doesn't line up with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. Like, it doesn't impact my enjoyment of the game, but you know, it's just funny how it's like this is a canon game, but also not really because
we could just say that it's a clusterfuck game and then just next.
Yeah.
It's a love letter game. It's a fanfic. Yeah. You're not supposed to question fanfic, buddy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rainbow Rocket, by the way, going back a couple steps,
Mm-hmm.
does anyone else find it weird that was just like a one-off thing and they haven't done anything with it since then?
The funny thing is, I haven't even gotten to the damn point of that game, host game. It's because it's like burnt. You know, when you burned out of Gen 7, it's like fuck this game.
And also, you had to repeat Gen 7 just to get to new Gen 7 stuff.
I haven't even gotten to the league yet. Like I'm at like Victory Road, but it's like I just stopped playing because it's like fuck this game. I don't want to. I already did this.
Well, Tina says, I hope you don't mind if I spoil like the very end of the Rainbow Rocket stuff here, because I don't think you're gonna play it anyhow.
Well, I mean, I am.
You might.
But the thing is, though, the game has been out for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah,
so,
about its point. It's not
basically at the end of the Rainbow Rocket thing, when you defeat Giovanni and kick them out of the Aether Paradise, he's like, I wonder which world I'm going to bestow my evil next.
Yeah.
And then like he teleports, like he just like leaps to a different timeline, and people thought like, oh, is he going to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Is there going to be a Rainbow Rocket there? No. Is Rainbow Rocket going to be a Pokemon Go or Masters? No. It's just like, why would they have that?
He yeeted himself off the planet.
I guess
so.
so.
I made the tweet a long time ago.
They're setting up for Kanto remakes in 2026.
I made the tweet
again
a long time ago shortly after Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because I beat the Rainbow Rocket story.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think shortly after that was around the time in Go where Giovanni actually did make an appearance. Along with the admins, yeah. So I was like, my theory was, hey, remember when Giovanni said which world is he taking over next? I think he might have been talking about ours, like in real life, because of the Pokemon Go thing. Yeah. But they're not Rainbow Rocket; they're just regular Team Rocket. So I don't.
Well, the Go Rocket. I don't know why they're like. Yeah. I guess it's because. Actually, I wonder what it's called in Japanese. Probably Gorokitodan, or something like that. I have to ask Gogasu.
I think it's mostly because they probably didn't go the Rainbow Rocket direction because people recognize Team Rocket on sight better than Rainbow Rocket.
I guess they went with Go Rocket because like they're not exactly the same as Team Rocket.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. Because like they use Shadow Pokemon, which is just a whole another weird thing to resurrect in itself, and then. Yeah. Like at the same time, like Rainbow Rocket isn't like known by the new fans. Like Pokemon Go, it is no secret that game like relied heavily on nostalgia to bring a lot of people back into it. So
if only it actually brought elements that made it nostalgic.
Yeah, they'll probably turn it into like a big propaganda. Like, oh, they're overly promoting homosexuality.
Gay Giovanni.
Right.
God.
Well,
I think that was what they actually mean.
Then he has to wear the leopard speedo.
Now the rainbow badge makes all sense here.
Jeez.
Was it the Earth badge? I forgot what badge he gives.
Earth.
He gives you the Earth badge.
Oh man, he should have been given the rainbow badge.
For some reason.
It would have been a beautiful time if you're like, let's go. They actually give him the rainbow badge.
Cancel Giovanni for what?
Cancel Giovanni. His organization makes absolutely no sense, and neither does him.
You ask
Yeah,
why cancel Giovanni?
Sadly
Listen, man, we're in the time of
Giovanni-
cancel culture.
just break the scope over his fucking head, and he's done.
Sadly enough, Giovanni's my favorite of the just evil team leaders, and it's not just because he's from the first generation. I think the reason I like Giovanni more is because Giovanni he's really involved in the world of Pokemon, and not just because they wanted to push him. It's just one, he's the leader of the Team Rocket organization. Two, he's an official Pokemon League gym leader.
Mhm.
And then in the next game, he's your rival's father. Like, he's so connected in the game.
And then if you of course read the manga special or adventures, he had a fucking huge role in that.
Yeah.
In a lot of them, especially in the Fire Red and Leaf Green story, bro, that plot twist, they come at a certain point in the storyline with Red and a particular Pokemon was the biggest plot twist I've ever seen from the Pokemon franchise, man.
Right, I've only read up to the end of the Red, Green, Blue, Yellow arc. So
you have to conclude with Emerald. Emerald does everything to try to tie everything together.
Weirdly enough, Giovanni's so involved in the game's plot, but it's funny because all the other evil organization members, they're these over the top, like, we got to catch the legendary and use their power to turn the world into a blank slate so that
he's just a mob boss.
And
like,
Giovanni's
Jordan, we will not reveal the plot twist because I haven't read it and I want to read it.
Well, it happens in Fire Red and Leaf Green. If you've read to the final chapter, you already know what the twist is.
Now you've got me intrigued. Now I gotta go start reading that stuff. Now.
Seriously though, when you learn about whole tie-in with the
character, the thing is though, I could just go straight into the FRLG, right? I don't have to freaking read Johto because Johto is a separate thing. Anyway.
No, Johto and Kanto. The Johto and Kanto stuff are connected, so by proxy, that means that'll be connected to it.
It's like Masters, or not Masters. What am I? Yeah, Adventures, right? Adventures.
Yeah, Adventures.
I don't know anything about it because I haven't read it, but I know that it has.
At least go until the end of the Kanto one because, like I said, I did that and it was quite a freaking read.
I physically have all the way up till from Kanto and Johto because those are Kanto and Johto all like when you read those together, you feel like you've read a complete story. Where Hoenn starts off fresh, so you can wipe your mind completely once you jump into Hoenn. But then once you get towards the end of Hoenn, it starts hopping right back into the older stuff because Fire Red, Leaf Green's coming next.
But does that storyline tie into Johto as well?
Yeah, everything ties together. Yeah,
everything ties in together. Like eventually, heroes wind up like meeting.
Okay, then that means I gotta get started.
Yeah, they're all loosely connected.
It only finishes up in Emerald. The whole plot concludes up to Emerald, and then moving onward with Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, and other stuff.
Yeah, those are fresh.
Those are fresh takes, but they do acknowledge the characters that came prior.
Yeah,
I just think if you just want like a true cohesive storyline from beginning to end, like a full-on adventure story, as the name is told, read the beginning of Adventures all the way to Emerald. You will get a satisfying story from that, and that is the shocking part. And this is why people want like. A anime for Adventures so much is because the storytelling in the mangas are some of the best writing that you could get out of it, with some of the biggest twists you could imagine from a game, as well as some things that they change from the games itself and how they flesh it out in the manga. Like there's a gym leader in Johto in particular who is completely different than how he's handled in either the anime or in the video game. And the thing they do to him at the end of the storyline in the Johto Adventure Saga is so astounding and yet so tragic at the same time. Like, you really need to get a read through it. It's just so hard not to talk about it without spoiling it because it's just so goddamn good, and I hope the chat doesn't spoil it as well. That's
pretty much true with any manga based off of a game franchise. Like Yokai Watch is the same thing. Like I've read it and it's like, yeah, that's a completely different direction. and I've enjoyed that as well. I'm actually on
Yeah.
volume 16 now.
I think it's just because when you see Pokemon, you always viewed it as like the kiddie franchise, but they take some twists and turns here.
This ain't for kids.
No, this shit ain't for kids, man.
Well, I mean, again, I want to.
They toned down a long way since the Kanto versions.
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest, they can still get away with stuff. They get away with more stuff in manga than they do on.
I mean,
if anything, that's one of the reasons why I kind of don't want it to be an anime.
No. You gotta. Well, yes, I understand, but at the same time, there's some things in the story that you really want to just see in anime form. I mean, I know.
I feel like if it stays as a manga, that's what kept it special. Because if they turn into an anime, they're gonna make Liberty changes, and I'm not down.
Yeah,
I know for a fact that Lysander and Malva thing, they're gonna change that shit up immediately.
Yeah, they have to change that.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna let that fly, knowing that is Pokemon. But the fact that they even did that in the manga itself just shows you just the freedom that these people have when it comes into making the series. It's really mind blowing, and that's why I really like the Adventures manga so much. It's like, yes, you could play the games, but the series could go in a completely different route. They do some tragic shit to Lily as well in Sun and Moon's story. Like some manipulation, like some weird ass scary movie shit with her in some of her flashbacks because of her connection to Lucamine. It's crazy, man. So please, if you're gonna want to start somewhere, I really recommend you start off with the original GBA games, I should say. So basically, Fire, the red, blue, and yellow storyline all the way down to Emerald. Just start with that, and then if you like that storyline, you could really just jump into any saga after that. Because like all the other ones are their own separate stories. Yes, they have tie-ins to some characters and stuff, but they're more storylines that are just built outside of what was already made from the GBA saga, so that's just my take on it. Seriously, though, please give Adventures a read through. I can 100% guarantee you'll find a lot of love in it. Yeah, it's 337 chapters, not that much. So there you go. No, it really isn't. I hope that they eventually make like the one they did for the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, where they had like the big book set. I know you own that, TSS.
The first volume, or the omnibooks, I think it was like the first two were like the first 4 volumes in one, I think.
Yeah, where they tried to put in as much as they possibly can into like a book itself. Like if you want something like that, I think that would be a best way. They also have the book collections as well, where they have these cool book sleeves and like 7 to 8 issues within each pack, and you'll have all the volumes then and there for that particular saga. So if you want to buy something and also have it look cool in your collection, whether it be in wardrobe or whatnot, you should definitely buy that. I think it looks great. So yeah. But other than that, though, just gonna say, give it a read. I generally believe you'll get a good kick out of it. So with that being said, is there anything else you guys want to add in regards to the manga, or are you guys just gonna give it a read eventually, and then we'll probably talk about it sometime in the future?
Fire Red through, or Fire Red and Leaf Green through Emerald, or the beginning through Emerald?
You're gonna do everything.
The beginning all the way through Emerald.
Everything. All right, let's do it.
We need to do a read through. Like I always see a lot of my content creator friends actually do read throughs on Twitch and whatnot. It would generally be kind of cool to kind of do something like that. Just to have a nice, genuine read-through with the community, be like read a volume or two with each member and whatnot, and see what everybody has to think about it from the end of the first volume or second volume or whatever it is. But I guess now is the perfect opportunity for us to go and hop into this week's episode of PM 2019. I really gonna hope on seeing if we can discuss as much as we can, because I know there's also something else we need to talk about after this that has really stirred up a huge debate online, and it's not relating to this episode, but rather an episode that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. So for now, we're gonna go and focus on, of course, this week's episode of PM 2019. So what do you say, guys? Let's go and hop right into it.
Let's do
All
it.
right, all right. All right. Let's see if KG paid his bills.
Well, yes, I did. It turns out
Thank God.
I figured out the issue. The issue was that I renamed the folder, and it didn't update the folder thing on the Pokeball settings. So I had to actually fix all that. So let us now take the opportunity to talk about what might be considered, to me anyway, the worst starter capture in the history of the Pokemon anime series. In general, I genuinely gonna say this right now. I think this is the absolute worst of the worst captures for any starter Pokemon in the entire franchise. I know this is insane to say, given we've been 8 generations throughout this Pokemon franchise. But let's be real here. Nothing compares to what we got with this episode. And I don't know if you guys in the call agree with me in that
Absolutely not.
I would agree.
I'm
I
curious.
didn't think it was that bad. I mean,
No, but I mean, like, if you were to have to rank all of the captures of the starters anyway,
All of the starters.
I would think this one's the lowest.
The Totodile one was
what the hell?
worse.
I love that episode.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, they had a whole battle royale thing going.
And then the Poliwhirl, thing.
Yeah, probably World of All.
Yeah. Well, don't listen to me because I'm on drugs. But anyway.
I think the worst starter capture
kidding.
out of all of them,
Actually, I think I might be misremembering. But then again, no, I hate Johto. So
I'm trying to remember.
To be fair, yeah, I agree with you with that one, TSS.
Which
Who
starter?
doesn't hate Johto?
Exactly.
Which starter?
Me and my homies
I know
Jay
there's
Well,
a
Johto.
I'm
worse starter.
probably thinking of another starter.
Okay, so I have all the recaps off the top of my head. Let's begin. Bulbasaur, the
Tepig
Forest.
isn't that great.
Tepig
Tepig
was
is
great,
good.
though.
Never Cyndaquil. I actually don't.
No,
remember.
Tepig is just Tepig is literally just Charmander 2.0.
3.0.
I remember the Cyndaquil one. So Ash is like, actually that one might be the worst. Ash is looking for a Cyndaquil because this one guy mentions it.
One. Yeah, I think that's probably the one I was thinking of. I think that's.
Were they
the one I was
racing for the
thinking of.
Cyndaquil?
Well,
No, I
no,
think it was-
The Cyndaquil one was probably the one I was
they
thinking
weren't even
of.
looking for. They weren't even looking for a Cyndaquil at first. Some guy was looking for a Cyndaquil, and the minute he mentioned it, Ash wanted to find one.
The
so
reason
the minute,
Mhm,
the
go
minute
ahead.
they so the minute they go into the one area where most of the Cyndaquil are, Cyndaquil just sort of shows up, and then Ash spends most of the episode looking for it, and then Team Rocket tries to get it, and then Ash is like running with the Cyndaquil while that's happening. And then at that point, the trainer finally finds Ash. Ash already caught Cyndaquil after it saved it from Team Rocket, and then they battle, and turns out like the Cyndaquil doesn't use any fire attacks at first. Then it uses a fire attack on Sandslash and beats it. And then that's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's the one. That's the one I was meaning, because there actually is a method to the madness for this week's episode, and that's the reason why it's not the worst. So we'll get into that, but first I want everybody to empty their head first.
I'll
All
give
right.
this one credit for being like a somewhat comedic capture, which we don't get very often. Like so many captures feel exactly the same, where it's like the whole episode builds up to it, and they're like, "I've gained your trust. Will you be my Pokemon?" type of thing. But like, Go literally just like gets mad and throws his Pokeball in the pond.
Yeah, he even says in the episode, shit, I threw my ball.
He's like, "Oh, I threw a perfectly good Pokeball away. Oops!" And then he just ended up catching it. So, I think the comedic. You know, that's
That's
Yeah.
the shit you wanted to hear.
like the beginning of this episode was like surprisingly funny. It's not as funny as that episode we had a few weeks ago with like the Slow King and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it was like surprisingly comedic, like with Team Rocket Balloon getting blown away, and they ended up like going through countless different regions like around the world.
Well, now not only that, it's like the balloon has emotion.
Oh yeah, well this is like the first time that we've seen the balloon in such a long time. Is this the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
been a bit,
I mean, aside from maybe it's been a long time.
And we hardly saw it in Sun and Moon because like
They
Yeah.
literally shut up at the last
they were-
episode.
Because they were at
like,
the
it was like at the
base.
very beginning of Sun and Moon and the very end of Sun
And at the very end, because they had to get the hell out of there. So
Yeah.
that's
The only time I remember it was when they had to specifically hide from Beware for a little bit because they were at Ula Ula, was it? I think it was. Where Nanu is. So
Yeah, like in the last 4 years, the Meowth balloon has only made like a handful of appearances, which is very surprising to me.
yeah. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate that this was probably one of the best balloon jokes we had from Team Rocket as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a good one. The giant net when they're like sneaking down, that was pretty funny.
And then they flew. They just stood there and just flew through hills and forests and deserts and everything you can imagine until they somehow wound up from Kanto all the way to Galar. But it just so happened that they managed to find Ash and gang there as well.
Just so happens, aka the writers needed both characters in the same spots.
But the outcome of that...
Better introduction to Team Rocket than we normally get, though. Like so many other times, it's just like, oh, we just so happen to be here, but like they at least made that funny too. So like, I'll give them for that.
Yeah, because there was actually a backstory.
Yeah, so I really like the comedic aspect of the episode. There were elements in it that I can easily say I enjoyed, and we kind of fleshed out a little bit of some other characters you wouldn't have expected. For example, Nurse Joy, we got to see a better look at her design from the Galar region in this episode, and we also see the Pokemon that she tends to hang out with, that being of those Indeedee, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Deities.
Yeah, so we got to see both forms, and I thought that was actually really nice there. So there was that, there was a whole Farfetch duel that was going to happen because they assumed that the other Farfetch had eaten the said food that was literally being saved for last or something. So it was nice seeing elements like that from Sobble of all Pokemon, who is like the crybaby and is just out here yoinking all of the Pokemon food that's just there. It has as a big of a stomach as the Morpeko does, given how much it ate, I guess you could say, from this start of the episode. So, I really like the comedic tone of this. But to me, I think what really held me back from saying I truly enjoyed it was how it was written, immediately following up the capture. I feel like they had an idea as to what they kind of wanted to go for, but because the Pokemon was already caught at the beginning of the episode, you already knew how things were going to turn out at the end. Eventually, that said Pokemon is going to go back to Go, you know what I mean? So it's like the horror factor, not the horror factor, but like the tension factor of what could have been for this episode isn't really here because you already know, given how the story tends to be told in an anime series, you already knew that the Pokemon was going to eventually go back to Go. There was no other way around it. So the thing that to me held me back from really enjoying it.
It's weird too because the beginning was like Sobble. I mean, I know that Sobble like showed up at the end of last week's episode, which was already kind of out of place. But like the way he comes in so quickly, and there's almost like no build up to it whatsoever. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but like in the very beginning of the episode, like when they're eating, and there's the peaceful background music playing. That even that was like slightly sped up. Like it was a faster version of the same music theme, which I was just thought, wow, they're really like just rushing through this Sobble introduction, like in all aspects here. And like they've pulled off captures in the beginning of episodes. It doesn't happen very often, but they've done it before. I think Dun and Pachirisu comes to mind, where that was one that was actually handled relatively well. Mainly because she had to release it and recapture it at the end, but they haven't done that all too often. And so first of all, the comedic capture, that was nice. We already touched on that. And then the fact that it happened at the beginning, like it kind of subverted our expectations, but I think we see now why that doesn't happen all too often because it's very underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know this Sobble, and Go is just like, oh, I like how he turns invisible like Mew does, and that's literally the only connection that they have. And then
that was dumb. I didn't like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the capture should have been held on till the end. Because I feel like had Team Rocket like snatched Sobble, who was also going after this accidentally going after this Pokemon, I think that would have made it a little bit better.
Like actually, Silicobra thing made me so mad because like of how much time that took up in the episode, and then he doesn't catch the Silicobra.
It doesn't lead up to anything in the end. It just is like a plot point to use for Sobble to kind of go away.
I mean, he could have caught the Silicobra and like used it to track down Sobble or something, and there would have been like purpose to that scene, and like there still would have been the consequence of like asking.
That's one of the things I've always been talking about with Go is like they for a character whose main goal it is to catch Pokemon, they always screw up his opportunities to do it for the sake of like, oh, this is funny.
Or like he catches like weird like burner Pokemon that you're not going to see much of, but then like when the actual cool Pokemon show up and you're like, oh, I think Go should catch that, and he doesn't, and it's like,
yeah. And they always do that for the sake of, well, let's make this scene funny, because I hated during I get that when they were fishing for the Lord, he kept fishing up nothing but Goldings and Magikarps for the sake of this is funny. I get it, like, oh, in that area, you only can get like Magikarp or whatever. But then they also put Goldeen anyway, so he had the capability of getting others. So they could have done before the whole Lord showed up, they could have done a montage of just various fish Pokemon. But they didn't do that because, we need Go to do this joke where he catches nothing but Magikarps.
Mm-hmm. I feel like here it was just more like them saying, well, we need to put more emphasis on Sobble, obviously, because like this is the Sobble episode. And I feel like to have him catch Sobble and then immediately after catch Silicobra would have probably undermined it a bit. But
yes,
I mean, it's Go's whole thing is that Go catches Pokemon. So, and it would have still had relevance to Sobble. So I don't know.
But the counter argument to that is the reasoning actually is this particular episode is once again showing Go's flaws, and he actually did get development in this episode. It's not only the bond between Sobble and Go, but it's also Go once again getting out of his shell in terms of character development, because again, Satoshi had to freaking coax him because he was feeling down, and I think that's what I think we were mentioning earlier about Satoshi being a mentor to Go.
Yeah.
And this is once again a positive plot point to that. So I understand completely why they wrote it like this, because they wanted to have one. I guess they wanted to develop Sobble so quickly, so that then the whole Cryberry gimmick would maybe go away for the most part, instead of like being maybe a gag maybe once every like 3 episodes or whatever. They wanted to get it away. They wanted to square it away and show the confidence, and also shows the still Go's incompetence in battling, because relatively we basically Go still didn't have the confidence enough to know how to deal with that Silicobra.
Yeah, even
It's
in the fight, before he begins, he's like, "Hey, Ash, water Pokemon would be effective against it, wouldn't it?" Mm-hmm. So I think Sobble would make the perfect choice.
So again, it shows it still has It still shows that Go still has a long way to go, but at least he's now understanding he has to battle things. Because remember, a few episodes back, he's like, "Oh, I have to battle it now," instead of just throwing the balls randomly. So he's he's actually learning something.
Yeah, he did it with the Lord, as well.
I mean, he realized he had to battle certain Pokemon from the gate, from like the Scyther thing. So it's not
right, but the thing is though, it's like again, the inexperience to battle. So again, I see where they're going, and that is fine. That is fine and dandy. Also, in that other scene there where you see when Sobble like disappears into the river and stuff, there's a reference to the Peanuts comics, because Sobble or Mison, Some means to sob, by the way, if you wanted to know that onomatopoeia. So when it starts to cry, you see Reboot's face go up into the tears. That is a direct reference to the Charles Schultz Peanuts thing. Like, if you ever watch a Charlie Brown thing, which freaking KG has not.
Oops.
Really?
No.
that's the reference. If
I
you
thought
see,
it was just I didn't even think about it that hard. I thought Rabu was
Yeah.
just trying to be
Yeah, I
tough.
just thought he was just holding it down because
No.
he was like being a man. He was like, I can't do that shit.
I thought Rabu was just being like, well, no, I just thought it was like,
no, but
teenagers.
the thing is though, the Peanuts characters are big in Japan too.
I just thought it was like teenagers. You know how like they don't want to show that they're crying. It's because Rabu's whole thing is he's a teenager. He's a punk. Like that whole situation.
You know what's a nice little touch as well that I liked? Speaking about Reboot, there was another scene where Reboot he's cried. So what he does is, so just to not show it on the screen, he turns his back and he's just like there, just like with his hands like up in the air, like just don't cry, don't cry.
Comic cartoons, yes, they have Peanuts in Japan, and actually recently they did a commercial about Meiji chocolate where the Peanuts characters are actually in it.
Huh,
and they actually do have the dub of Peanuts there.
Well, I'm glad that TSS brought up like Go's development, and also going off of Raboot here. This ties back into like Go's original conflict with Score Bunny / Raboot, where like he forced him to not do his thing, and then like he didn't want to listen, and then that kind of caused like a conflict between them. And he was like on the verge of repeating that same mistake with Sobble, and like at the very end he realized like, oh, I'm wrong, I need to be better about this. And if you notice the very end,
Fortune
they play
King,
thank you Fortune King.
Fortune King, my bad.
Hey. And very fitting name, by the way. Anyway, you notice at the very end of the episode they play Ash's theme when he's talking to Sobble, which is not something that they often do. Like they usually just use that for Ash stuff. And I think the reason for that is that they're showing that Ash is having an influence on Go, and that he's learning something from him. He's trying to be more like Ash. So I think there was like good development for Go. I think that the issue is that it came at the expense of the Sobble stuff not being handled amazingly well, and a lot of the other aspects of the episode just not being all that up to par. But like the Go stuff itself, I think was good.
Yeah, I appreciate some of the elements from the episode. It's just more so I feel like there are things in it that could have been rewritten to fit the narrative a little bit better, to make more sense.
Everybody has that opinion, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. At the end of the day,
decent.
it's always going to be subjective, like that's how it is for previous series.
I mean, I rank this as decent. I mean, it's not the worst, and it's not the best.
Yeah. It's not an atrocious episode. It's just like, I mean, with the Team Rocket stuff. I mean, I don't hate Team Rocket or anything. I think Team Rocket was actually pretty funny in this episode.
Yeah,
but it's just like, it feels like this is one of those episodes that I've seen like 200 times before, where it's just like, oh, this is your standard Pokemon.
I was just about to say, like this is the most, to me, it's the most return to formula Pokemon episode we've had in a while. Actually, it's like, they discover a Pokemon. Team Rocket shows up. Team Rocket captures said Pokemon. Ash and the others confront Team Rocket.
The only thing that was really mixed up was that Go caught
they're losing the battle. Oh, but the new Pokemon that just got introduced did a thing that it's known for doing. That disrupts Team Rocket because they don't know how to handle it. Ash and the others take advantage of the situation, defeat Team Rocket.
I love how even Team Rocket didn't care for Sobble, because it was like, listen, we're just having this as a way to just trade this Pokemon for Pikachu. If you just give us Pikachu, you can take this Pokemon back.
I did like how they were just like, please, can you just trade Pikachu for us, because they're like tired of crying. And then Ash was like, we feel like the bad guys in this situation.
Also, nice little Smash Brothers reference, by the way, as well, with the goggles. That is exactly like the Pikachu one.
Yeah.
So that was a weird thing to like throw continuity back to, was the Mr. Mime Onions thing. I didn't see that coming. Like that was that was some weird episode of continuity. I don't mind it, but I was like, that's
like that. I like when they actually make Go creatively think on his own without having Ash be the one that fucking come in and do his job for him.
Yeah, and this is something that I've kind of criticized before in the past with Go, where he's kind of needed to rely a lot on Ash, only because back then he was still sort of on the newbie scene. He didn't really know much as to battling, but here the main difference was how, he's like, hey, I'm thinking on my own, but it's not in regards to battle, it's just more so in regards to accessories, and how accessories can be used as a way to kind of, I guess, negate like the tears from happening in your eyes and whatnot. So I'm liking elements of it. I just, once again, I feel like the narrative of the story was just weak.
Two things that I did like about the whole Rocket shtick, and that is, well, number one, I did like the fact that the Rockets Road Index said, Oh yeah, today I don't want to do anything.
I love that
It's like,
too.
yeah, it's like yeah, no, yeah. That's number one. Number two is I now realize the whole point of the gacha, and here is my theory. Reasoning behind it is, the Pokemon series has always been about showing the Pokemon. So I would imagine that the only reason why they're getting these tough Pokemon is so that they can checkbox it off the list of Pokemon that they could that they have to show in the series.
Tyranitar, check. Armaldo, check.
Unfortunately, as stupid as that may sound, as stupid as that may sound, it pretty much like it is the episode. I mean, it is the quota of showing that particular Pokemon in that episode.
I figured that out like when they introduced the gacha. I know why it exists. The problem is that I don't like it.
Well, there's a few different reasons behind it, because at the beginning of the series, they did say that they want to show like every single almost 900 Pokemon in this series at some point. So
yeah, and I guess Team Rocket's gonna be the ones to do it.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason. The second reason was that I guess it just makes it less repetitive. Because I think back to XY, which is like very battle heavy, and how a lot of the Team Rocket episodes with God, I forget their names, Inkay and Gorgeist, how they were almost the same thing every single time, especially
Team Rocket though. Like Team Rocket's the same every time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing against XY, but it's just like, you know, that has been a thing for many series now, where it's like we shouldn't have many.
No different than Yamask and Swoobat from Best Wishes.
Like literally, I swear those episodes where they battled Team Rocket and XY were like half reused animation, because they just use like the same shadow.
Well, yeah, it's like loop animation a lot to save production costs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that's what you get with Team Rocket in general. Team Rocket been.
I feel like this is spicing it up a little bit.
I mean, at the end of the damn day, what it all is about is that everybody likes specific parts of the specific Pokemon series. Like everybody will disagree with what they like and what they dislike. The thing is, though, I'm not gonna crap on them for trying something different again.
Here's my thing. The reason that I don't care for the gacha machine at all is because then,
reminds me of Japan.
It gets repetitive when you see Team Rocket use the same Pokemon over and over. But at the same time, that bond that they had with their Pokemon is kind of like the weird appeal of Team Rocket. Like how ironically Team Rocket's supposed to be an organization that mistreats Pokemon and just uses them for profit, yet Team Rocket themselves, even though they're as incompetent and the most incompetent grunts in the whole group, they treat their Pokemon the best.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the farewells are always much more emotional than the main cast sometimes.
That level of irony that comes with them when they have a group of Pokemon. But you lose all of that when you have random Pokemon's numbers 1 and 2 showing up in random episodes.
Yeah, if they had like somebody small like that could just hang out with them, like Wobbuffet, I think it would be fine, you know, but there's really nobody. The only one we got close to that was the pre-evolution of Dreadnought, the Choodle.
Choodle and potentially more Pekko.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd get more Pekko and add that to the gacha and have it be like the second Choodle of the series, but that didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like this more Pekko's going to be a recurring joke, because I don't think they would just have it here for no reason.
I mean, I did appreciate the fact that the whole inciting incident was freaking Musashi throwing a empty tin at freaking Morpeko and then hit Sobble now.
Yeah, I thought that in itself was nice, because it's like, whoops, wrong capture.
So again, like I said, it's like I totally see the direction that they wanted to do, and in some aspects they did it right, some aspects they did it wrong. I know people are very polarized. I mean, this is probably like what, the fourth episode of the series that people are so polarized on.
We literally just came from an episode that was the most polarizing, not too long ago.
Most polarizing. So again, I think, you know,
these two don't look all that great either. It looks like two the same episodes back to back.
And it happened to be the hype episodes that everybody's anticipating and just completely let down, which hurts a lot.
Well, that's because, that's because people just like they get too excited for reading scans and they don't know how to read Japanese and crap, and they can't freaking make context. Can't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Well, people get very, very like, I don't know, like heated about
heated because because you gotta remember, here's a little factoid for you people out there. Back when I started in 2004, social media wasn't a damn thing. All you had was forums and IRC. You were either a forums guy or you were an IRC guy. I avoided the forums because it's about as toxic as social media now.
Hey, can I talk about the forums after you finish your bit, though, TSS?
Yes.
Okay.
So now that more people are on social media, they have this avenue to complain. There has always been complaints, like forever. But the thing is, though, it was much more contained to a specific form because you had a lot of different forms and they weren't exactly interconnected. I mean, if you had internet, most people had dial-up, at least up until like the mid 2000s.
And now they can shout it to the world.
Now they could just shout it to the freaking black void, and then somebody would listen to it. So again, it's a much different environment than it was like 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, like, people get so like wrapped up in the Pokemon. Will Ash catch this? Will he not catch this? People were like mad that like he caught Farfetch because then they meant like, oh, he's not gonna catch Sobble. It's like, it's not that big of a deal in my opinion, because it's like. No. It's like, you know what, maybe Sobble is your favorite Pokemon. Maybe you want to see Ash catch Sobble then. But, like, I can understand that. But at the same time, it's just like, it's not like you're going to deal with it for what, maybe 2.5 more years, and then they'll be gone anyway? Like, I don't know.
It's like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Go to freaking Yuyama and put a gun up against his head? No, it doesn't work like that.
They will make you like Ash's Pokemon, like, regardless of what he catches. Like, they're going to develop them. Like, even if it's not the Pokemon that you originally liked. There are a lot of Pokemon that Ash has caught that I didn't like, and then they made me like them because of how
development.
Yeah. So I think people just get a little too wrapped up in that, and people are always like, they're constantly looking out for what is Ash's next Pokemon. It's like, just chill out, just enjoy the ride, because you're not gonna like it as soon as he gets it, but eventually it will become to be a little.
And also, not to mention, I'm gonna let KG do his thing too. It's like you have all of this fuel for like speculation videos, and the reason why we don't do speculation here is because the last time that we did speculation, we talked about 3 hours, and then it was freaking disproved in like 2 days.
2 hours after the discussion came.
2 hours after the freaking discussion happened.
That happened
pretty much. It's gone.
I'm trying to remember exactly which speculation that was.
Yes,
almost all of them.
All of them.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Like 85% of them.
A recent example though that can act so I can have context. That way I'm not just thinking about nothing.
Well, I guess let's go to X, Y, and Z, man. X, Y, and Z was a perfect example on that.
Like, I think they like revealed X, Y, and Z like literally the hour after we finished a podcast, and we were like speculating like what the whole end of X, Y was going to be or something like that.
Exactly, and then immediately and then we had to do a follow up at the end of that. Also, Tyrone as well. Another thing, the Lycanroc debate. Remember that shit?
Oh shit!
We wasted 2 hours on that, and then I love how Richie at the end was like, neither. Like, that was his only shit he said in that entire conversation, and he ended up winning that conversation in the end.
Yeah, 2 hours.
But again, but again, I just wanted to quickly note that it's
we had that speculation.
Yeah, it was great.
Speculation is all nice, but the problem is when you start doing it too often, and then when you get burned too many times,
you lose that special touch that was there. Since
and then people will say, "Oh, here's another speculation video. Oh, I wonder when they're gonna be wrong this time." I don't want to be like that shit.
Yeah, we like doing it. It's just more so we're gonna just spread it out a little bit. Is all.
And 90% of the time, we're gonna be wrong because they can do whatever the heck they want.
Except
because we don't have the fucking scripts. We don't go dumpster diving. We don't go dumpster diving in fucking Mandarake and buy those and get those fucking script things that come out.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
But
so I guess the moral of the story is like just enjoy the ride while it lasts.
Yes.
Quit looking so far ahead into like what's going to happen down the road.
And quit being so fucking condescending. Like, just enjoy it. It's Pokemon. Pokemon is supposed to be enjoyed. You may not agree with it, but at least keep somewhat of a positive thing. Okay? I'll reiterate something that KG says all the fucking time. And that is, ride it until the end. If the end disappoints, then you could go ahead and fucking complain about it all you want.
I mean, in reality, if you really don't like it, like if you really don't like it, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. I mean, there's other things you can watch. Like, you can go watch fucking like other anime, because there's like 1,001 fucking anime out there. Like,
I heard Pokemon.
Just like the old there's like this old video on YouTube. It's like, about the iPhone 4. It's like, get the fuck out of my store. Yeah. Like that's pretty much what it is.
And people are already preparing themselves for like Grookey coming in the future to act.
Oh, I can't wait to get my 3 for 3, buddy. I swear, I'm telling you guys, Grookey ain't gonna be on this team, and you guys are hearing this first.
It's just like we don't have to constantly be looking out for the next thing. Because first of all,
I think the problem that most people have is they know it. Like, if Grookey goes to go, that means all the starters went to the graveyard.
Basically,
yeah.
Because
they all suck. So I mean, did they really lose anything though? Let's be honest here. Exactly. See,
it's just like, we don't have to be looking out for Grookey. First of all, if it is Grookey, then don't even worry, because we don't have any signs pointing towards that happening like in the next month or so. So just
we don't have any synopsises, we don't have any episode titles, we have nothing.
You get one episode at a time. Just everybody's looking into like
enjoy the here and now,
Yeah, people are looking at freaking potato cam fucking things that come out of like somebody claimed to have taken from like the back hallway of a fucking a Family Mart. Like, and can you not do that for like 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's the stupid Shrek and Donkey meme. Can you keep yourself with the speculation for 5 minutes?
5 minutes,
and then for Donkey, it's anti-Poke fans right there.
Donkey.
No.
Especially in a series where Go is catching 90% of the Pokemon, just chill out on the Ash speculation. He'll get them when he gets them.
It's like, damn. It's like you're waiting for like a freaking waiting for the results of a fucking blood test. I mean, come on.
It's almost serious.
Like this isn't like pre the series where you could like probably lay down what Ash's team was going to be before the series even started, where you just be like, oh, Bird, X starter, and then whatever else is like marketable, right?
Yeah.
Well, here you just don't know, so you may as well enjoy not knowing. I think they've done a pretty good job of like giving us some wild cards. Like, nobody knew Dragonite was going to be on his team until he caught it. Nobody, I mean, Gengar was like kind of implied, and then Riolu kind of came out of nowhere. Farfetch certainly came out of nowhere. So it's like, I enjoy not knowing, actually. Like, I think it makes it more fun.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying this series the most that I've enjoyed it since DP, because it has a kind of fresh feeling of not knowing what the hell is going to happen next.
Because you can't tell with this series. It is literally
it goes in random directions.
Yeah, I mean, like the moment Dragonite got caught in episode 10, speculation is straight up done. You know what I mean? It's just gone at this point, because anything you could say, the anime will be like 10,000 steps ahead of you and be like, lol, nope.
It's like, nope.
Exactly.
Because like, who would have thought that Ash would get like 2 fighting types? I mean, honestly, before this series started, I thought that he would catch Sirfetch'd, because Sirfetch'd was like one of the most marketable Pokemon of Generation 8. But like, as soon as he got Riolu, I was like, oh, that probably won't happen now. But like, prove me wrong. I mean, he's got Galarian Farfetch now, and I would be surprised if it didn't evolve. So I think that it's just best to sit back, enjoy the ride, and just appreciate whatever he does.
Just relax, just calm down.
Now, the only thing we can really rage about or speculate about, though, is Koharu, because I don't even know what the hell they're gonna do with her.
Yeah,
and I know next week's episode.
Koharu? What the heck is going on?
Yeah, Koharu. I thought she was the main female lead, and now she's more like, oh right, she exists, doesn't she? You know,
main female lead at this point.
Yeah, so we'll figure things out with Koharu in next week's episode for sure.
Like, in reality, this is the this is the series that literally is it's trying to. It also doesn't help that we got a large bulk of episodes that were delayed, obviously due to the whole situation.
Backstreet Boys tickets.
Yeah, so what feels like it should have been like, if you imagine what period of time we'd be at if they didn't do that, we'd be much further ahead. Obviously,
Absolutely, we'd be 6 weeks ahead.
I think next week is actually like the first time since they delayed the episodes, like since the pandemic started, that we're getting like new content that we hadn't seen.
Yeah, where's my trailer for future episodes, man?
I think my thing is because the reason that a lot of people...
Evo made the picture.
I saw. I literally got the thing just now.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There we
go. Like I think the thing is like people, like when they obviously are gonna try to predict the team, they're predicting like they wanna have something shaped out in their head on like what exactly the Pokemon are that are gonna be laid out in the series, because like it's been they've been doing that since hell. I want to say maybe AG. Like they've been doing that, and for the most part they've been doing like Ash's team based on just like usually which Pokemon can show off Ash's battle style really well. And here I think what they're going for is that they're just trying to give him some relatively like statistically good Pokemon, like Lucario, Gengar, Dragonite. Those are really high status.
And obviously still popular, like fan favorite ones too.
Yeah, so, weirdly enough, Sirfetch'd is the weakest statistically if we're not counting Pikachu.
But marketing though,
yeah.
Marketing though,
come on. You know, Pokemon has always been buy our toys.
Exactly, it's always been the buy our toys.
Hey, you are watching a 22-minute commercial. They're going to push the ones that are the most popular.
To me personally, the reason I don't really care much for this team he has currently is because all the Pokemon on this team, I know, like iconically in my head, they belong to someone else. Dragonite belongs to Lance. Gengar evolves. It belongs to Agatha. Lucario belongs to either Marnie or not Marnie. What's the third damn gym leader in Diamond and Pearl? Marlene. Yeah, Marlene.
Maylene.
Oh, Maylene. Yeah, Maylene and Karina. Like in my head, those belong to somebody else already. So I just don't really associate them with Ash. That's not really the show's fault. That's just how I view those mons.
Yeah, that's how you interpret it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I never even thought about that until you just brought it up now, though. So
yeah, they've never been Ash Pokemon to me. I always like to view Ash Pokemon as Pokemon that don't really belong to anyone until he makes them his own. Because no matter what, when I look at Dragonite again, I think of Lance.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that's ties back into the "can people stop speculating" thing, because I remember way back when Ash caught Dragonite, people were like, oh, he's going to catch one Pokemon for every champion. He's going to get a Metagross for Steven, and he's going to get a Garchomp for Cynthia. And I was like, bro, can we chill out?
Yeah, you already got Garchomp in the last series. We don't need another one.
Not everything has to be a pattern, right? It's okay to be unconventional.
Exactly. There are times when you got to just.
It's okay to melt your face.
No, we already did that. We don't need to go through that phase again.
You really start to think like his Sun and Moon team, like that wasn't really based on anything for real at all either.
The only thing that it was based on was that it was meant to be like household pets until you got to Meltan, and then until Melmetal came into the scene and freaking.
No. I mean to be fair, like Meltan is the freaking is the Pokemon equivalent to fucking Ajax.
What the hell is Naganadel?
Yes.
Yes.
I know, Kuro. It is a pet rock, but also a pet nut. Yeah, so that's the best way you can describe that thing. It's
I remember
nut.
A long time ago when had like a screenshot of like Kukui's living room and like Ash's Pokemon. It's like, yes, Ash and all of his household pets: an owl, a cat, a dog, and his purple space alien.
No, it's a plushie. It's a plushie that got hit with a comet.
Shit, Super Mario RPG. Let's go, boys.
Cosmog.
Who? Exactly.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of his. Yeah, so I don't know. Just I think I'm not gonna sit here and get super pissed at the fact that Ash doesn't have like Sobble or anything, because there are people that are getting mad about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm more upset that Go has Sobble than angry that Ash didn't get Sobble, because Go's not gonna do anything with it.
I don't even think Sobble's in the next episode, is he?
I don't
From
think
the
so.
from the cast list? I don't think he is.
Yeah, and like I don't
So, like,
trust.
that part is understandable.
And a
how
lot
it
of
went.
people will be like, "Oh, but Go will." I don't trust the show to believe that Go will do anything with it. I believe this was literally his like one time to shine.
Well, granted, other than
We're
Riolu,
not
the
gonna see
Pokemon
it
that
again
actually
until it
cry.
does its. We're not gonna see it again until it does its crying joke.
I mean, like, other than Riolu, the Pokemon that Ash has caught have been like the same way. He leaves them at the Institute, and you don't see them all that often. Like, Dragonites only showed up a handful of times. Same thing with Gengar. Like, they're not constantly on hand. He basically just has Pikachu and Riolu for most of the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to get into a couple of quick things about this episode. And TSS, I need your input on this one, only because I really have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to be seeing from this scene, because it's a recurring thing. And maybe there's something with like a Japanese pun to it that I'm completely skipping out on, but there is a scene that happens here in this episode when they...
I know, and I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, so this is a scene where Ash and Go decide to split up, and they're trying to go and look through separate ways in hopes of finding the lost Sobble. So go to the river, and Ash goes to some part of the park. And in that scene, while Ash is going there, he spots an Oddish who has the exact same goddamn pose as the one that they re-encountered in the episode when they were looking for the snack thief at Sakuragi's lab, when they were at nighttime looking through the area, and they discover it's just an Oddish. Is there some kind of joke that I'm missing here? Because like I'm seeing absolutely nobody really talk about this.
Don't catch
thing
him
is-
out of-
Yeah, but the thing is though, the dialogue makes no mention. The only thing that I can think of is, and I was saying this on the other server last night. I believe it's only because of the fact that Oddish's leaf on the top looks kind of like can be mistaken for the fin.
But that doesn't explain the previous joke where it wasn't even about a fin. It was more so it was looking for the food thief, and it was like, oh, it's just an Oddish, I guess.
Well, I guess. Well, then again, no. Remember, freaking in Japanese, it's called Nazonokusa, or like strange grass. So it's like that's what the fuck it translates to.
That is a weird
so-
translation.
I know, and that's why it was never. That's why I don't
I think it was
translate.
just a running joke of whenever they're looking for something, Oddish shows up instead.
Well, yeah, and plus remember that that again the top of its head it looks like fucking like leaves, right?
Yeah,
So that's what the whole thing is. It's like it just pops out of nowhere.
I
So
guess.
So the dialogue. By the way, the dialogue does not indicate anything. It just says, "Oh, we just got that wrong." It's like that's it. It's not
That's
no
why I
dialogue.
wanted to ask you, just in case if there was some kind of pun to it, because I know that a lot of the episode titles and some moments in the episode tends to kind of make a pun out of the Pokemon's name or something, and I thought that Oddish was another one of them, given that it's a Kantomon as well, and a lot of the Kantomons tend to have a form of pun to it, like Strike or, to name a few.
Nazonokusa.
So yeah, that's why I was
Shigirane.
asking you in that.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about before I forget is the forums, as we were talking about before. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up was only because we were talking about Go then, and I don't really think we're talking about him now.
Right.
If you want to go to see toxic shit, the forums is the place to be. I never thought we would get to that point where people would really hate Go as a character, but to the point that they straight up called Go a psychopath or a
What did he do
lunatic,
to him?
or, and I'm like,
No, they've been listening to too much of that song "Psycho Bitch" from 15 years ago.
I don't know, man. The reason why I bring this up is because I've never seen this much level of hatred for a side character or a main character that's not Ash. This is just absurd. Like, this is reoccurring. This isn't just a one and done thing for just this episode. No, it's reoccurring throughout various episodes. Like, a lot of people really despise Go. Hell, I'm hearing in Japan people are so pissed off with this week's episode because Go has Sobble and not Ash. And I'm like, what is it that people are just not liking about Go? You know,
I can answer some of that.
Max.
You know, like, yeah, he's even worse than Max in terms of how much people are hating him. And we've only been less than 30 episodes so far.
I can go into some of the reason why I personally don't like Go.
Okay, but before we get to that though, do you hate Go?
No, I don't hate him.
Okay, now you can go on then, buddy.
There's not enough episodes for me to hate him.
Give it about 60. There you go.
The
Well,
problem with
assuming
Go,
it gets worse by
and
then.
I don't even have a problem with the fact that, like, oh, it's been this many episodes and he hasn't, done this or that or whatever. My biggest issue with Go is that, weirdly enough, is Ash. Ash is my biggest problem with Go. Because Go literally is like the most sidekick character that's ever existed. He can't even hold his own scene without Ash having to pick him up. Like, I get it. Ash is taking a mentor role in this series, and that's fine. That's great. But Go can't even maintain his own character without Ash coming in to do something. Like, I actually liked the episode where he had to go to his family's place. He had to go to his family's apartment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually see a large chunk of Go just learning about stuff and doing stuff himself and, figuring out the whole Cubone situation.
Yeah.
That was good. And then Ash showed up and fucked all of that up. Because at that point, we don't get any more development out of Go. Now it's Go and Ash again. And Ash has got to help him do all that stuff now. It's like he was doing fine by himself. They won't let him be a character long enough. Even in the series where they had to travel with Ash, there were characters that would split from the team long enough to let, their selves develop. Like, one of my favorite episodes of AG is that recently it's one of my favorite too, because I went to watch it again and I was like, wow, this is really good. It's an episode where, like, it's like a Christmas episode kind of, where May is like off with Meow for some reason. And it's the whole, like, this woman wound up getting this woman was about to have a child by this one guy, but he wasn't going to return back in time. So
it's the episode with John in it, the Arcanine.
Yeah,
Wendy.
Yeah,
Wendy.
the time warp heals all wounds. And that episode's really good. You want to know why? Because they split May from the rest of the cast so they can have her get a chance to grow as a character on her own. They don't need to be together all the time. If like Ash and Go are always connected at the hip. So unfortunately, that means they never get the chance to develop Go's character enough for me to care about him. Everything he does always gets undermined by something Ash did. Like, did Go need to get his ass whooped by Farfetch in the last episode so that Ash could beat it? Like, was that necessary?
I agree, Tyrone, but also keep in mind that particular May episode was like 150 episodes into AG.
I know, I'm just saying that
we're still very early.
Yeah. We're still very early in comparison.
The problem is that whenever something whenever there's a disappointment with Go, it's always we gotta wait in order for this to happen. It's like,
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people also they forget the original thing that they are setting up with Go from like episode 2 or 3, which is that Go has a general like distrust of people, and also like he's just not good at communicating with Pokemon because he's been kind of like sheltered his whole life.
Right,
and,
pretty much.
And I think that the whole thing at this stage in the journey is that Ash is helping him push through that. And then I think you might see Go become more independent as the series goes on. But like right now, it's about establishing their bond, their friendship.
And you could see that they're
do that with they've done that actually with other characters earlier in this series. I'm not saying they need to have like super.
Yeah, but we're not even 30 episodes into the series, and you have to compare to other ones.
No, I'm saying like they've done this even in less time than that. Like the problem, I'm not saying that next episode Go needs to be all on his own and ready to take on no, I'm just saying like Ash's actions always make Go look worse.
I think they're trying to make this more of an arc. Because, like, with say May and Dawn, they had to get that stuff done very quickly so they could move on to like contests and whatnot. Or Serena had to move on to her performances. With Go, his thing is catching Pokemon. He's already doing that. Where he's also like learning the stuff along the way.
He's learning that sometimes I have to battle Pokemon, and I was like, I have to learn how to actually battle because Go actually looked at his fucking Rotom phone to look up Sobble's moves.
He did, which is sad because I guess people forget the Scyther fight exists because he did fine in the Scyther fight.
Well, he knew Scorbunny's moves in the Scyther fight.
Yeah, I'm just like it was never really an issue of that. The issue with Go though is like the problem with Go to me personally, like I said, is because the character that they're trying to make and introduce, they're not doing enough to make me care about him. Even if it's whether it be on his own or with Ash, the problem is when he's with Ash, it's at his worst because Ash overshadows everything Go does. Like everything Ash does is a billion times better, unfortunately. And that's only because one, people know who Ash is already, and two, he developed that mentor role, but at the same time, that unfortunately makes it feels like they have to make Go really incompetent in spots that even he shouldn't be incompetent at. Because Go, to me, the way they introduced the series off was that Go seemed like a know-it-all. Like he kind of knows the statistics and the book smarts of Pokemon, but Ash is the one with the actual life experience.
You know who also did that as well, Tyrone, though? Lily. Remember, she was also the book smarty character as well.
Well, yeah, but they played around with Lily's can't touch Pokemon situation.
No, but I'm saying they have already done that gimmick is what I'm referring to.
Well,
they've already done that, and I feel like was portrayed better only because there's so much you can do when it just comes to capturing Pokemon at this point, which is why I'm just really hoping. And I know we're very early. Obviously, things will change.
I think the biggest
Chris from
problem,
the manga would like to talk to you because she's an awesome character and she does literally what Go does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would argue, however, though, is I think people are looking way too deep into it without actually looking into it. Actually, I don't
believe so because I feel like a lot of people, and this is coming from the person who had to defend Serena, which people had the same problems with Serena. And I literally pointed out real life examples of how Serena's character was doing.
Yeah, but fine. Go will not be rebooted. That's the difference.
Go's gonna get a haircut.
I also think Go is
not gonna be.
What's worse than that is that like the defense you're giving for Go almost seems like it should have been the same defense for Serena, but for some reason, because it was Serena, it's not.
Yeah, because we already knew what happened to her.
But
we don't know what's going to end up happening.
As we were talking before, it's one of those situations where we're only speculating now, and we'll see how things turn out in the end. Will all of this be fixed or not? That'll be something that time will tell.
Right, and that's why. But that's why I'm looking. I'm actually freaking analyzing. The way that they're writing.
One of the things with me is because I like the problem with Go is that I like his idea. I like the idea of a trainer who wants to capture Pokemon. That's actually a cool concept to me because like literally that's one of the appeals is like some people literally play the game for battle. Some people play the game literally to catch the Mons. So I like the idea that there's a character that's supposed to capture Mons. The problem is that unfortunately Go's not the character that's catching my interest, and we're almost 30 episodes in terms of like this is the character we've chosen to make our like gotta catch 'em all trainer. Like there's so many episodes they could have explored with. They like, oh, Go could try to experiment with different Pokeballs. Or in this episode, Go has to capture Abra, but it's funny because, you know, Abra's whole teleport gimmick. Or in this episode, like Go ends up using all of his Pokeballs to capture the weaker Pokemon, and then when he winds up finding a rare one, he's low, so he's got to figure it out, or something like that. But they don't do any of that, and they haven't done any of that.
Yeah, but as I said with the reboot episode, they're finally turning the corner.
Yeah,
but
but
now we just gotta wait for it to unfold as we.
I think what's going to happen is, well, now the Koharu stuff is happening, so I think what's going to happen is now we're going to probably see a parallel development.
I hope so. I really do. Because judging from this, it seems we're only just getting one episode for that so far for Koharu. And then there's that one episode that we have to discuss before we wrap things up for tonight.
Unfortunately, it gives Pokemon Journeys that it's giving it that Pokemon Journeys is like the wait for it series. Like just wait for it. Like, okay, fine. Pokemon.
But the thing is though, we have been getting development. It's not like Go has been just sitting there doing absolutely jack shit.
I think we've gotten a decent amount in 30 episodes. Too.
Yeah, I think so. Considering that
Serena, whose arc didn't start until like episode 40 something in XY. Like
even then, I would still defend Serena, saying at least she tried something leading up to that, though.
Like,
it didn't go well, mind you, but I still think she tried.
Serena had build up stuff. She had the VR video. She had the PokePuffs episode where she had to cook, the rivalry with Miette, like she had those already coming. So
that stuff is like more in your face than Go stuff. Like Go stuff,
Go stuff is like subtle, and I like that. I like that they're just being so subtle about it because
Serena stuff's like she's little, and now she's interested in.
You know, it's like that bumper. It's like that bumper at some of the ends of some of the Fox series from the mid 2000s. I made this. You know, that shit.
I like Serena's stuff. It was subtle too, because at first, if you pay attention to the beginning of the series, where Fennekin ends up fighting, she only had Fennekin use Ember, and she was very timid about having Fennekin even use Ember in most battles. And then later on, you see, even before the redesign, Fennekin's using like Hidden Power and Flamethrower, and she's being more active in fights. Because she watched Ash battle more, so now she's more involved in the Pokemon battle.
I'm not like discrediting
it. Even in my video, I point that out.
I just think it's a different kind of development.
It's a different kind of development, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was
talking about a guy. So go ahead.
I would just say that Go is like he's more akin to Clement actually, but like stretched out over a longer period of time. Whereas Clement, like he was done by episode 60, and then he just kind of
and then
off.
he just took the backseat to the extreme.
It seems like they're doing the same thing, but to a greater.
Clement. They took some different liberties with him. What they did with Clement, because essentially after that he became more confident, so his machines actually stopped exploding more. One, that was the big thing, and two, he helped Ash with the whole Ash Greninja thing by making the synchronization wristwatch. And then even after that, he sort of was like the battle guide to tell them what was going on.
I personally won't. I mean, I personally want to see Go being a semi-competent battler at like episode 40. I think we're starting, and by semi-competent I mean actually wanting the battle now. So
without like relying on someone else as well.
Correct, and I think that well, let's just put that on the calendar. So we have 11 weeks from now. If we do not see much more of an improvement than that, then I would start worrying.
I would even like a Go versus Ash type of episode, where like Ash is using like say Riolu and Farfetch, and maybe he'll have a sixth by that point who isn't trained like Gengar and Dragonite are, and then. So it's not like a total wash. Like people would just be like, "Oh, this sucks." If Ash is like 3-0's Go, and it's like
And also, you got to remember, Go has some pretty powerful mons on his team. I mean, the Lord, for example, is one of them.
Scyther.
I like how the first choice you made was Magikarp.
Golurk. He's got.
I mean, no. The Lord will crush the shit out of you.
Oh, God.
I mean, you saw that chest, man. Let's be real here. That guy will
Side
sweep.
chest.
Listen, you say that, Tyrone, but there are videos out there that prove Magikarp can take out the entire region by itself. So it's no surprise maybe to see Magikarp actually sweeping the competition.
And the other thing somebody also mentioned, I think the lockdown also had the problem with that, because remember, we lost 6 weeks of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess people are they're kind of cranky because of that stuff, and then this on top of that compounded it. It's like, oh, you made us wait 6 weeks for nothing, and yet see these ungrateful fucks. It's
like the episode was already made. They're not going to go back.
Yeah,
and
it's like
even during the hiatus, they can't even do that because it was already built, and especially with marketing in mind as well. You can't just change
can't just change shit. I mean, people, the Sakuga and freaking other things, you can't do that.
Which goes back to don't get ahead of yourself on who Ash or Go catches. Just take it when it gets there.
Yeah, just take it like it is, and I like being surprised. So, with that being said, let's get to the episode preview, and then we want to talk about that one episode after that.
All right, so next week's episode, Yamper's getting development. Yay! Now then, on to episode number 30 in particular. This one, okay. I know the Koharu episode. Well, the Koharu episode's coming in a couple of days, and honestly,
also the guy who freaking put what was it, Eternatus on freaking Koharu's shoulder. They get the $5 for that.
Now, my thing about the Dove episode is I know it's probably going to be similar to the Dino episode, if anyone remembers that from like Black and White or Best. Dino, whichever. Dino, yeah. Dino. So if you remember that episode when I was taking care of it and then eventually wanted to catch it at some point, but then the actual trainer arrived. So I think that's probably going to be a repeat of that. The only difference this time around is that there's going to be jealousy in the mix, and that's coming in the form of Yamper. So I guess, and once again, I know this is a Koharu-focused episode, but the way it's being told with the summary and the trailer, it feels more like Yamper is going to come out with more of the development than Koharu is, because Koharu actually has her family to rely on to help out with the Pidove, and maybe she'll begin to like love a little bit more of Pokemon, because that was her whole thing. She didn't really know what to think of Pokemon because she didn't have an idea about that. So maybe she'll get a bond with the Pidove, and maybe she'll feel a little sad to see it go back to its original trainer when the original trainer finds it again. But for now, it's looking to be a Yamper-focused episode. Koharu, if she gets some development, I will be okay with that. But I feel like with Go, Koharu's going to be that kind of wait for it to arrive kind of thing, like we just talked about before. So, but Koharu needs it more than Go, because Koharu barely gets any time of screen. So, yeah, we need Koharu to get some development. Now, the actual episode I really wanted to talk about, I know there's like the Celebi thing, but I assume that was meant to be like a promotion for Coco, because that was initially planned to release around the time.
Correct.
So, it's going to be a Coco-esque episode, I guess. Then there's the other one, which is Hinbas and the Pretty Scale. Hinbas, I believe, is Phoebus.
Phoebus.
And Phoebus, in particular, was a very interesting debate at the time, because a lot of people were actually speculating that Ash would have gotten Phoebus and actually gotten it to evolve to a Milotic, which honestly, I would have loved to have seen that. I think that would be a cool Pokemon in Ash's team. Unfortunately, the summary that came out clarifies on that situation and says that Sota has come to Satoshi and Go for advice, because he explains that his friend Nami is feeling bad because everyone keeps telling her that her Pokemon isn't very cute. Her Pokemon being Phoebus. So we already know that the Pokemon in question belongs to another trainer. So clearly that's not going to go to Ash at any point.
Correct.
The only outcome I could see from this episode is that Go maybe encounters a Phoebus and then he catches his own. But I don't see Ash getting anyone anytime soon, unfortunately. So there's that. Now, the only one we don't have much knowledge about, but this is where things get really divisive, is for episode 30, the one that's going to come out after this upcoming episode, which is focused on the reluctant Pikachu and the exasperated Bariad, or Mr. Mime. Now, after winning an official Pokemon World Championships battle. The Emanation Pokemon Riolu is feeling like $1,000,000. I actually love that summary bit there. But Satoshi's fixation on training Riolu pushes Pikachu's patience to its limits, and it ends up leaving the Sakuragi laboratories. Barrier chases after it in an attempt at holding it back, but Pikachu is set in its way. Where does the road this duo heads down lead them? Okay.
That is going to be the bridge between the Pichu story from episode 1 to Okido. That's going to be the bridge for the backstory. Something had to have happened.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to finally get the episode. Well, people have called episode 1 episode 0 because of what happened. So we have the bridge between episode 0 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be it. And I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it only because this story just doesn't feel right. It's so out of character for Pikachu, only because we don't know nothing about Pikachu's past as much as we should. But with your statement, Tia says we could get something out of it. But the issue as it stands right now is we know nothing. So Pikachu being reluctant like this, when clearly he should have acted this way in previous generations.
Right. Should have been an XYZ episode.
Exactly. Greninja hogging all the goddamn spotlight, but that's only mainly on Ash's fault because he's similar to this, he's the one commanding that Pokemon to be in the front and center a majority of the time, and Pikachu tends to do a lot of the work in XY, as well. So there were moments where Pikachu should have done this shit, and it's like, nah, we're gonna save it for a baby. Let's put this in mind. It's a baby Pokemon, first of all. Riolu is a baby Pokemon. Pikachu's been known to be like the big bro, always taking care of the little ones. You know what I mean? It never would be like this.
Baby Pokemon, these kind of attention. You try to raise them up better than his other Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he tries to treat them nicely, and Pikachu acknowledges that. I mean, you see with, for example, Togepi is a perfect example at that.
Yeah.
And Scraggy as well at some points. Pikachu always likes to look up to... And Noibat, just slightly a little bit with Noibat. Not that much because it technically got its own brother in the form of Halucha.
Halucha and Fletchinder were the ones that...
Yeah. So Pikachu was more so just in case if they weren't around, Pikachu would do something at least. But the thing is...
It was like that with Gumi.
Yeah, you're right. It was with Gumi for a little bit. Yeah, it even separated with the others, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So and then when Ash fought Ramos, Pikachu was holding Gumi in its lap.
Yeah, so there are things like this that you always would expect from Pikachu, always to care for the Pokemon, never to really put itself like this to where it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna straight up leave the lab. I think that's what really got me confused with this. It left the lab to go do whatever the hell it wants to do out from the laboratory. And also, where the hell is it planning to go? Does it even know where it wants to go? Is it just so mad that it just wants to go take a stroll?
Why are you running?
Exactly. Well, that's what the barrier or Mr. Mime is saying. Why are you running?
That's gonna be a video that I'm gonna be doing then.
Beautiful.
As I said earlier, either there's going to be some underlying reason that we haven't seen yet and we don't know about, or it's just going to be a badly written episode by someone who doesn't know Pikachu very well.
No, this isn't just a badly written episode. This could be one of the worst if not treated properly. This summary could do it for people. This shit could be a make or break episode for people.
Because it's mostly because when you have Pikachu is a 20 plus year old character, so everything that they wanted to experiment with, they had the chance to do it already. Like John already said, they could have been done this.
Well, it's weird because Journeys being a part of Pokemon, which has gone on for 23 years now in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're gonna have this mix of writers who have been around and know the show and have the continuity added in. Think of the Surge episode and the Korean episode and stuff like that. And then you inevitably are gonna have some new people. I don't know who wrote this episode or is storyboarding this episode or anything like that. Maybe that information.
I got it right here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so let's see. Screenplay is going to be done by Reiko Yoshida. Storyboard is Hiromasa Amano. Episode director is Hiroaki Takagi. Animation director is Rei Yamazaki. And animation director for there's two of them actually. Akira Takeuchi. Now, none of these names are really ringing a bell. Hold on a second. I'll keep looking at this, so don't worry. You continue on, buddy.
Yeah. They all sound like new people except for... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong guy.
Oh, Reiko Yoshida wrote episode 1 in particular.
Okay, that's weird.
Alright, so maybe TSS's statement might be the...
Yeah, episode 1 of this series, by the way.
Yeah, I think TSS is onto something there. Then.
Yeah. Also, Reiko Yoshida also wrote episode 15 of the series, which was actually the Snow Day episode about the Cubone, as well. So those are some of the episodes that have been.
So we know that there's going to be some serious shit going down.
Well, it's interesting when you look at just the people who write the episodes, because it's almost like an XY, where it's like if Omode was involved in an episode, then you knew it was going to probably be like an Amore shipping episode. And it's kind of the similar thing here where you notice like trends between certain writers and like certain things that they like to go back to and pick out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could definitely be the case where there's going to be something that comes back up from episode 1. I assume so because it seems like they wouldn't just throw this out there and have it be like a totally out of character Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
I think finally after 23 years we're gonna get more fucking backstory.
If they're willing to take it, yeah.
I think so, because what's probably gonna happen is it's probably gonna happen really early on.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see the direction this is planning to take for this one. Let me see. The another episode that was the animation director, I think it was, or no, episode director Hiroaki Takagi also did episode 4 of PM 2019 as well. So I'm noticing that there are some familiar faces in terms of some of the past episodes that have been created. But
the storyboard guy looks like he's been around since like Best Wishes. Sun
and Moon. I'm noticing that like Sun and Moon, and even some of the more iconic Sun and Moon episodes, Hiromasa Amano took care of.
Sun and Moon episodes here too.
Yeah, like Sun and Moon episode 49 to be an example for that one. Also doing episode episode 96.
Yeah,
which is about the whole rockets being in Lucamine labs and whatnot, and that's where they find the Stuffle.
Yeah.
Let me see. XY episode 68, which is the one where we learn a little bit of the flashback of how Alon was with Sycamore.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got some.
Which is the end backstory. So he seems to be more on like the serious side of things like that.
Yeah.
So
he also did the Fletching to Fletchender episode too.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of the better Evolution episodes, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple of examples here, folks. So, overall, I think TSS might now be onto something after finally taking a read through at some of the stuff here. Specifically, with what we mentioned before, with how the person who did the writing for episode 1 is looking to come back here to write this episode. And given that you would want the writer who made the previous story, you kind of want that person back to kind of continue on, because who better to do a continuation than the person who started it off to begin with,
And it's nice that this series has episode to episode continuity like Sun and Moon did, where it's like minor stuff that happened before shows back up continually. At this point, up until now, it seemed like, this is just going to be a series that references a bunch of past series. But I think we saw with that little thing with like the Mr. Mime cutting onions and him needing goggles that little things will pop up here and there, and there's going to be more continuity, not just between series, but on an episode basis.
Exactly. So, I feel like there is something to look forward to. It's just more so we just gotta wait for it, and it's not that far off. For this one, it's just a week or two. So we have the one that's coming later this week, which is going to be the Yamper-focused episode featuring Koharu. And then following that, we have a Pikachu episode. And I'm also happy to see that Mr. Mime is also tagging along with this too. It's not simply just the Pikachu by itself. Mr. Mime is also gonna get some form of development too, which is great because Mr. Mime actually has been doing a lot, if you noticed, in PM 2019. So let's keep that streak going. I like it when it gets more development too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so what do you guys say? We go and wrap things up for tonight then, why don't we?
Sounds good.
Okay, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you guys enjoyed this week's session of the PokePod World Podcast. We had a lot of fun debating, speculating, even questioning the directions of certain series. Genuinely speaking, I was initially planning not to have done one tonight for the pod, only because I was expecting something to have arrived today. Guess what? It's 12 a.m. right now. It's still not here yet. So
better check the tracking on that. It better not be the laser ship, or else
no, it's not laser ship. It's straight up from Amazon itself that was being shipped from. So it's UPS.
Okay.
Yeah, and I checked on it right now. It got shifted to Tuesday, which is tomorrow or today, I guess.
Yeah, tomorrow. Well, yeah, today.
So yeah,
okay.
Which is good because theoretically, this is going to be the last session for me with this mic. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to take the opportunity to say thank you and farewell to...
Thank you, KG's mic.
Yeah, this is the mic that's been with me since X and Y.
Damn.
For almost 7 years, I've been with this mic. 7 to 8 years. And this mic has done so many amazing things for me. But as you know, time passes on. Sometimes we want to kind of just change things up a little bit for the future and, you know, play around with certain mics, see what works, see what doesn't. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. So the next time we speak here on the pod, I'm going to be moving the mic from this to the new one. And the one I'm going to be trying out for next week is the newest Elgato Wave 3 mic that they had just recently released. I actually managed to get my hands on that, so I'm going to go and give that a shot here in the next pod, see how things go, and let's see what people have to say about it, whether they enjoy it, dislike it, and we'll work from there. I also bought that mic as well, because the reason of the package that I was expecting today was actually an iMac that I talked about last week. So I managed to get my hands on one. And the reason why I bought that, yes, I spent $1,500 for just this, is only because it has a video editing. And
you got to send it to Lewis Rossman in about two weeks. So
yeah, right. Hey, listen, at least that means I collaborate with him later. No, but in all sincerity, I bought this only because I can't. I'm sorry. I've been with this program for like 2 years now, 2 to 3 years with Vegas and other programs on Windows. None of them compared to ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow so far has been the definitive video editing program for me personally. And with all the crashes I got with Vegas and all the bullshit that I've gone through with these other programs, it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna just
should have used Premiere.
No, I tried that as well. It didn't work for me, buddy. But I think that's only because I think Premiere is a little too complex for my taste. So I like ScreenFlow's more like moderate design. It's more streamlined and doesn't have like all the shit just thrown in your face. You just kind of have to open the tabs for yourself to get them. But ScreenFlow to me has been the go-to program. And the reason why I'm doing that is only because I'm finally going to go back to making more video content. I know it's been absent on YouTube lately, and I apologize for that. But you guys got to understand, I've also been doing my Ring Fit training recently as well, so I've kind of been sidelining from that. I know I didn't get a chance to talk about it this week, but just as a follow-up to add to week 3 of my Ring Fit, yes, I've actually been playing this on a daily basis. Week 3 so far. My take on Ring Fit is I actually managed to wear one of my shirts I couldn't fit last time now. And that felt nice. Nice. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. It actually felt nice to actually wear a shirt again instead of the typical XXL shirts I had with me. So I'm very happy about that progression. So I'm noticing that it is shaping up to be better. It's a really fun game. It gets very, very gruesome when you get to like World 10 and above. I mean, like, they make you do shit that you shouldn't want to do, you know, because there's a gimmick in one of the levels where they force you to like stretch the ring, but you have to be stuck on that position for like a good 2 minutes. And I just want you to think about just holding onto a ring and just pulling that shit for like 2 minutes without moving it, and it's in the top of your hands. Just thinking about that shit hurts. So there's stuff like that's being played around with the game so far. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just glad it's actually working on me. And I'll probably give you guys a full-on update when we get to a complete month, so like after 30 days according to the game. So when I get to 30 days in the game, then I'll let you guys know how my progression has been so far. But just judging from the fact that I could wear a shirt I've owned previously that I couldn't fit into before, and now kind of getting into it better, that in itself made me happy. So there is signs of progression, and I'm happy for that. But I'll keep you guys updated on that in the future. But thanks everybody for the support on that. I appreciate it. Ring Fit really has been a game changer for me, and I'm very happy about it. So, I hope whenever people get the opportunity, if they ever wanted something to kind of give themselves a bit of motivation and don't want to go to something like the gym, try out Ring Fit. I genuinely think it will be a life changer for you. So I'm going to keep on working hard and continue to fight against the fight and hopefully go under that 200 weight limit that I'm trying to go under. So fingers crossed on that. But anyway, aside from that, though, I think I have pretty much said everything I needed to say. You guys ready to go wrap things up for tonight?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, then. Thank you, everybody, for being with us here tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, thank you to everybody in this call. We have, of course, Tyrone the God 3, TSS Killer, and JPRPT98, which should all be in the friends segment down below, so make sure to go and follow them there on their Twitter. Make sure to follow them on their YouTube channels, as well as maybe follow them on their Twitch channels as well. I know Tyrone recently has been doing a lot of streaming lately, so make sure to give him a lot of love and support as well. I know our buddy Richie has actually done an amazing job too. He managed to get affiliate actually, so there's that. I look forward to seeing more of their content in the future as well from the streaming side of things, and you can also look forward to seeing some of us get together again to play more of that Stadium and whatnot on Tyrone's channel. So please make sure to give everybody a follow if you haven't yet. So until next time, everybody, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we will gladly talk to all of you guys later in whatever video we make. Take care, everybody, and as always, have yourself an awesome day.
Wash
Good
your
night,
hands.
everybody. Good night.
So, yeah.
Bye-bye.